How big can I get my heart to be?
Thought Media Network proudly presents
How much love can I get flowing out of me?
The Real Talk Sisters. Deep, unfiltered, soulful conversations with Reverend Dr. Pjae Stanley, Reverend Kim Andrews, and Reverend Melinda Wood Allen.
How big can I get my heart to be?
Join us for Real Talk on Real Issues, Tuesdays, 2 p.m. Central, 1 o'clock Mountain. And now, let's join the Real Talk Sisters.
How big can I get my heart to be?
Hello, everybody.
Yay!
Did y'all
How's
see
everybody doing?
I'm doing this thing.
The Queen
The
Wave.
Queen Wave.
Wave, yeah.
We are all goddesses, so we should all be doing the Queen Wave.
I'll have the Queen Wave. So, hello, everybody. I am Reverend Melinda Wood Allen from the Church of One Love in Dallas, Texas. And I'm really glad to be here today.
Sorry. And I am Reverend Dr. Pjae Stanley from Harmony Spiritual Center in Fort Worth. It is a joy to be here every Tuesday.
And I'm Kim Andrews, spiritual leader at Unity Spiritual Center in Saxe, Texas. And it is good to be here.
It always is.
Yeah.
It always is.
It always is. It always is. Yeah.
This week, what we decided to talk about was we're going to do some fundamentals of new thought, and we're starting with the 5 principles of unity. And principle 1 is
practicing the presence, the principle of the presence.
There's only one. There's only one. That one is God, and 2 is we are one with that one, right? Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So we are here to talk about the very nature of God itself.
Mm-hmm.
Small subject. Small subject.
Yeah, that's all we do. We only talk about little stuff. We don't talk about anything that's
Why? Why bother?
Right. No, let's just chit chat.
I didn't tell y'all about this, but I have a poem I'd like to read.
Oh yeah. Great.
It's by Nicola Amadora. She's a PhD and something. I don't know, but her poems are beautiful. And this one is called I Am. Give me no name. I am called by many names. I am human and divine. I am lover and beloved. I'm the innocent child suckling on the mother's breast. I am the ever-giving earth, feeding freely all creation. I'm the leaf wildly dancing in the autumn winds. I'm the snow silently covering winter's ground. I'm the first flower blossoming in spring's renewal of life. I am the sunshine celebrating summer's feast. I am the gentle tears upon your cheek. I am the love inside your broken heart. I am the longing hands that lead you home. I am the mystery on the threshold between worlds. I am death and birth. I am all and none. I am shining and unchanging in the cycles of life. Dear one, see and hear. I am everlasting life. I am the love that forever is. I am the one with many names. I am no name, no word, bound by none. I am you, blessed one. I am.
Mm.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is beautiful. Yes.
Sort of all encompassing that's, and I think that's the reason people have so much trouble talking about God, or the reason that religions have developed in the way that they have, which is to make God small enough for our human minds to get around it. You know, God in a box. I can't deal with all of this, but I can deal with this. So if I make God this,
compartmentalize it.
Then, I compartmentalize it, write some rules about it, and then I could just keep an eye on whether I'm following those rules, and then I don't have to think too deeply. And the beauty is that expanding that idea of God beyond, and just knowing that it's beyond what my human mind can figure out.
Absolutely.
It's not, I mean, it's not more stressful than God in a box. It's more freeing.
It's much less
than God in a box.
Absolutely.
The deal is we have to accept personal responsibility. But if our view of the one presence and one power in the universe is um, big enough, then we finally understand that we can't get it wrong.
Exactly correct.
We're not
I
doing
Yeah. No, you just you read that poem and I love that. And there's another poem that I'd like to go ahead and read from Hafiz, and I just and it just oh I just love this part because you mentioned religions and he said it's called I've learned so much. I've learned so much from God that I can no longer call myself a Christian, a Hindu, a Muslim, a Buddhist, a Jew. The truth has shared so much of itself with me that I can no longer call myself a man, a woman, an angel, or even a pure soul. Love has befriended Hafiz so completely it has turned to ash and freed me of every concept and image my mind has ever known.
awesome.
So,
I read that to
so
my
there is no
congregation.
need for the box. I love it. I
Yeah.
know it. It's just, it's exactly what it is. It is so, not only is it freeing for me, for my relationship, because for me and just my spirituality, I want a personal relationship. When I say personal, meaning that I'm just like I'm talking with you guys, I'm talking with spirit all the time. And it has freed me to not concern myself with what we call it. I don't care what we call it. I don't care what religion you follow because that's just to me about personality. Wherever you're comfortable, however you grew up, whatever you're comfortable. It doesn't limit God. It doesn't limit the truth. It doesn't do any of that. So you can talk to me from wherever you are, however you grew up, all of that. But we're still talking about in my mind and heart the same God. We're still talking about the same one. It doesn't matter what you call it or how you see it. None of that matters. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So that's what that poem does for me, or is put into words what I
Yeah.
feel. Yeah, yeah,
And I
And
think, this principle, all of them, but especially this one, is not something you contemplate mentally. I think
Mm-mm.
this you embrace with your heart because mentally this is hard to take in, maybe nearly impossible for our human brains.
Yes,
But I know that when I wrap my heart around this and when I'm sitting in my prayer and meditation time, when I am being really contemplative, that just wrapping my heart around that I am also what I call the all there is,
yes,
because all there is God for me. God consciousness encompasses everything that there is on
right,
this planet and beyond, in the
yes.
physical realm and beyond,
In the known and unknown, exactly.
and that I am a part of that, an integral, treasured part of it, as are we all. That it blows the doors off of everything, like that poem, both poems that have been read. So, and that has changed how I live.
Yes,
It has changed how I think.
yes,
It has affected everything in my life. So, prior to New Thought, my spirituality, I couldn't even call it spirituality. I just did the God stuff on Sunday morning.
right.
And
That part.
now this is my whole life, and every part of my life is my spirituality, and vice versa.
Yes,
And it is all of you and all people. And I'm continually working to embrace that every one of the 8 billion on this planet, I am a part of them and they are a part of me, and we are all one in this God
yes,
consciousness. And so when I
yes,
feel myself pulling back, when I feel myself being judgmental, when I
yes.
feel
Trying to
myself
separate in
being,
some way.
it's starting to get a little ugly and above, well, not above, but in alignment with something other than my God consciousness, when I'm expressing that, then I go back to remembering that. And that brings me back to where I need to be, so that I am embracing that love that is all encompassing.
It
So I think
really
it's
is.
definitely not a mental construct, because it makes no,
You can't do it.
I don't know that it makes rational sense. And it doesn't have to, because it's not rational.
No, it's intuitive. We simply know it. It's a known it's a it's a known thing from your heart. And I think part of the issue for many of us is believing and trusting what we know, because the mind wants to go, well, how do you know? I Because I know. And there is no explaining how you know. You simply know. It's like any mother or any person who's connected to someone, and you know when they're ill, or you know that you need to call them, or you know there's something wrong, and you call them. You don't need a phone call. You don't need a letter. You don't need to write a, you just know. Something's wrong. You just know. And so this is what we do. Trust that.
And we know because we experience it. It's not just intuitive, it's experiential, but we have to open ourselves enough to allow that experience.
Yes.
And in the question that I get asked the most from people who are new to New Thought, who are new to Unity or new to whatever, is one presence and one power. How about all the evil in the world? What do you do about that? And it's a question that needs to be answered to a certain degree. There are people like you said, Kim, you can't think of it. If you try to reason it out, it might not work. The way I always come to it is that this picture of what God is so gigantic that it's beyond all reasoning. It's beyond all possibility of us even knowing anything about how big it could be in an intellectual sense. But as we go through our lives, let's say that picture is a jigsaw puzzle and we get handed one little tiny piece, and it's just weird and it's brown and it's ugly. We don't like it. We have no idea what that piece is. We've only been given the piece, whereas God is the whole. And so we can't ever judge one piece or one little set of pieces. We can't ever take that and think we know what the whole is. And so, from just keep taking steps back until your perception or your perspective is wide enough that it includes everything. Because, just one little tiny example is that, my husband on Easter Sunday morning fell and broke his hip. But because he was in the hospital for having broken his hip, we got a consult with a neurologist who was the first one that put together symptoms he's been having for a long time and said that might possibly be part of this larger thing. And that set us off on a journey of finding perhaps some answers to what it's been, the reason he fell in the first place, what's been happening with him.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know the answer to that yet, but I get that the way the universe works is so far beyond what my little brain can possibly figure out that I have no choice but to just trust it.
Exactly. And I want to come back to that question, because you're right. That is the question that, what about evil in the world? So I have a couple of responses to that. Number one, evil is a name that we give something. That's a label and a name that we give things, in my opinion. What do we know what's evil and what's the opposite of evil? So if it's all good and it's all God, then where does evil reside? That's number one. Number two is that if you look and you see that that everyone is a divine presence, and we'll talk about that's one of the other principles that we were talking about. Everyone is the divine, and if you see that, and you see that everyone is divine, then what you have when you think that you're looking at evil is that you have compassion, because you have no idea what that person has gone through, what has happened to them, what their knowing of love and being worthy of love is. You have no idea. So we label something evil. We don't really know what the circumstances are and what has happened to that person. And so if you get to look at them rather than an evil person, but look at the God within them and think, what in the world has this poor person gone through? They show up like this, and how can I show them love, show them something different in the world? Because that's what we get to do. So when people talk to me about that, that's one part of it. The other part of it is free will. Everybody has a right to show up the way they show up and then learn what they're going to learn. So we don't get to look at someone else and label what they're doing and then talk about how bad the world is. Everyone is on a different spectrum, a different road, a different amount of growth. We don't know what that is. We don't know what that is. And so that's where it looks like it could be evil, but I hesitate, and I think we should hesitate calling things evil. We really don't know what it is. We really don't.
And
That's
that's
my
what
take on it.
it says, one presence and one power. There's no power
Exactly.
of evil that's against
Exactly.
the power of good.
There's no, I don't believe that there's such a thing. And
Yeah,
so we have to have so much love and tolerance is not the word, love and compassion for what other people have gone through. You've gone through, everyone, there's no one here that doesn't have a story. Not one person here that has a story. And so if we look at the story we've come through and think, wow, and all the fortunate ways in which we came through the story, because all the pieces came together to allow us to get to the story and learn. Everybody hasn't been able to do that yet. So have some compassion for how people show up.
Omnipresence leaves no room for evil.
It doesn't.
And
No room.
what we do is, even Mara here put in a comment about edging God out, ego. And it's impossible to edge God out because you can't edge God out.
Mm-mm.
God is all there is, but we can be out of alignment with God consciousness in thought, word, or deed. And
Exactly.
so we can edge God out in our thoughts, in what we are doing and what we are saying, out of our focus. We can refuse to see it. Oftentimes people are just going through life not realizing that God is everything, that God is omnipresent, that we are God itself. And we may be acting contrary to that, but we are still, even the most evil of persons, if you want to call them that, are still individual expressions of the divine.
They are.
As they are out of alignment, which is hard for people to take in.
Yes.
And yet we are. We
Yes.
are.
Yes. And if you can hold those two thoughts, even though they look like it's not, they may be out of alignment, but you are looking at God individually expressed. You are.
So it includes every serial killer, Hitler.
Exactly. Exactly.
Every despot, Idi Amin.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say, Melinda? One
tiny little ugly piece of the puzzle. We don't know. We want to judge it based on that. We don't know what the picture is. We don't know what the picture is.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm reminded too of, that in the grand scheme of life, there's this philosophy that maybe people show up as certain things in life, which we can judge as evil, but which over generations, over years, over decades and centuries, somehow serve the greater good.
Yes.
Through what they came here to do.
Correct.
And so I don't know if my jury is still out about that particular philosophy, but I'm open to it.
Right.
Because it does resonate on many levels.
Right.
That we choose why we come here, and maybe we choose what it is we are going to do while we're here.
Right.
And maybe there are some who will choose certain things that will somehow put a black mark upon them for all eternity. But really, they came to serve in some way that is beyond our human comprehension.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And put a black mark on them for all of history, not for all of eternity.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a better word. Thank you, Melinda.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You're so good at that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One of the many reasons I love you.
Yeah.
We
And
are
like Anita says, of course, it's easy for us to say, and then there is the practice of showing up daily in that conscious way of being.
Yeah.
And that is exactly that is the work. That is the practice and the work is showing up daily with the truth that we know, and keep saying that truth. Yeah.
So we're at 20 minutes after. Can we take a short break and come back and talk about how to do it?
Yes.
It's easier said than done. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So easier to talk about, easier to write poems about than to live. Difficult.
Absolutely. Yeah. To show up every single day as us, as who we want to be. And so how do we do that? What are you guys' secrets to showing up as you want, as your divine self every day?
You know, I try to lean into what the challenges are rather than run away from them.
Mhm.
So for instance, if I'm going to watch the evening news, I know that I have to pray the whole time. The whole time. Just
Okay.
go, I can't, my human self can't see the love, but I know it's there. I know the love is there. I affirm that the love is there, and I just have to keep on doing it. And that's, man, anytime I have a challenge with a person in my life, in a personal situation, the way out of that for me is to pray for them for their very highest good, for their very highest good. And I do the same thing when I watch the news. It's all I can do. It's not all I can do. I can vote. And by the way, when we say there's not evil, in a very large sense, that doesn't mean that we just abdicate responsibility for what happens here on earth. We do our best. We do our best, but we do our best with hope and with a belief in love. We don't do our best and feel hopeless and like we're not making a dent. We do our best, understand that our best in this one human life may not be as good as we want it to be, but that there is more. There's always more. And pray to be shown the more.
Right. Right. Exactly. So
I generally, my practice is to, I remind myself in my prayer and meditation time in the mornings and throughout the day now, because it does, the thoughts just come up about who I am, like an affirmation of who I am. And so now my, what I'm wrapping my heart around is that I am God. I am that God consciousness. And the reminder of that does directly influence each moment I'm in. So I'm generally thinking of how am I showing up as I'm showing up.
yeah.
Even if I realize that I am out of alignment, some or a lot, I'm aware of that and I'm thinking of how to get back in alignment. Do I need to shut up? Do I need to change what I'm saying? Do I need to change my tone of voice? Do I need to walk away? Whatever it is, do I need to take a breath and start over? And I do that. There's sometimes I'm in the midst of something and I'll go, okay, wait a minute. I need to rephrase that. I apologize.
Right.
And then I'll go. So I think it's a willingness to say you're wrong and to apologize. I think there's, to not be afraid of the fact that we've slid off the track a little bit, but you can always come back on. That's what life's about. That's the challenge. I think that's what we're here for, basically, is to come and to be that God consciousness, but we do it through the learning and the living.
Yeah.
Living and the learning, because as we live and endeavor to meet
Hopefully.
this challenge, hopefully we are learning. And then the next time I don't slide as far, I don't slide at all.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I find myself radiating that and being that on a regular basis. And so now that that's been working for me for a while, I do find that my learning curve is much shorter, that I even feel this, it's almost like I have this force field around me and I feel protected. I feel strong. Even when things threaten to knock me down, I think this shouldn't have to knock me down. How do I apply the essence of me, the truth of me to this situation? And how can I show up differently? And am I willing to do that now?
Yeah.
Am I willing to do that? And if I'm not, I'm thinking about, okay, what is that about?
Well, yes. What is that about? Yeah.
Do I just need attention? Am I not thinking of
Need
the
some
long
rest. I need some sleep. Yeah.
term? Yes. Am I tired?
Yeah. What is that?
Do I need to get
Excellent.
over myself? Whatever that is. And usually I'm thinking, oh, all right, yes. I want to be that God consciousness in this moment.
Yeah.
I want to express that. I already am it. I want to express that and let the people or situations that I'm in also know that.
Absolutely. Yeah. By the way you show up. Absolutely. And
Yes.
course correct as you go. Mhm.
And then
Absolutely.
that automatically influences the situation you're in.
It does.
So it
It
can
absolutely
heal
does.
whatever's happening if it's something that's
Absolutely does.
toxic or troublesome or in dis-ease.
Yeah.
And you get to be an instrument of peace in that moment
Exactly.
for yourself and
Exactly.
others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Because the
agree.
moment you are that instrument of peace for yourself, you become that for others.
Yeah. You do.
There's no
You
way
do.
that you can be peaceful without bringing peace into the world. Even if the person
Okay.
standing in front of you is still raging and screaming, still you
It's
have
okay.
brought peace.
You are emanating peace. You're still
Yeah.
emanating
I
peace.
think it's
Absolutely.
important to find an affirmation about who you believe you are.
Yeah.
Say that as often as you can so that then it becomes second nature to you. And then, like mine is, it just shows up in the moment. And I go, oh,
Right.
I did affirm that this morning. And here I'm standing in a moment of choice.
Right.
So am I choosing my God self or something that's not in alignment with it?
Exactly.
I'll share.
And
I have to commute a lot to work. It's
Mhm.
closer now than it used to be, but still I'm on the highway a bit. And I get triggered, believe it or not.
imagine that.
Driving
Dallas traffic.
to Dallas, Texas, I get a little triggered at times. And I have this thing that I've been doing it for, I don't know, 15 years. And it brings me back when I start to go, you beloved child of God. I go to that is actually the thought that comes before the curse word. Now I'm practiced enough that that's the thought that comes and it releases me immediately because I laugh at myself. It was like,
Yes.
oh, here I am getting triggered again by something that does not matter at all. And it also puts words to it, reminds me of who I am, of who they are, of how
Right.
this is just really a role. This is a game we're playing. These are roles we've taken on. It's not
Exactly.
the truth of who we are.
Exactly correct. And like Kim says, she talked about, a statement, an affirmation of who you are. And one of the things that I talk about a lot ad nauseum, my members, I'm sure, are sick of me talking about it, but it's the only thing that matters to me. And that is, having your top 5 values on your mind all the time as you go through the day. And I call them my DRM, my daily road map. I know what my 5 are. I've gone through them several times, and I know the top 5 are the top 5. I don't think you can hold too much more than that to keep track of who I am. But what the top 5 are. So before I put my feet on the floor in the morning, I remind myself of what the 5 top values are. And the number 1 is my relationship with spirit. I'm connected to spirit. That's the number 1 thing. And then there's more. I'm not going to go all 5, but so those things are what matters to me, and they keep me as I'm going through my day. How is God showing up? How is love showing up? Because that's another, just unconditional love. How is that showing up? The thing I just said, the thing I just did, is that love showing up? Are you connected to God doing that? And so all day, this is playing in my head, so that I make sure at the end of the whole thing for me is this: I have lost. You get to a certain age, you lose a lot of people in your life. You just do. That's just the way it goes. And I've been to a lot of services, and I just think I want to make sure that I am living the life that I say I want to live. And the only way to do that is to every day remind myself of what that life is,
Yeah.
of what that life is, so that every action I take every single day helps me 10, 20. I don't look 20 years down the road and go, oh my gosh, I haven't at all been living the way I want. Every day I remind myself and then take actions toward that. And so that's how I do it. So just the top 5 values for me, and everything is pretty much incorporated that I want to do and be in those top 5. And that's how I show up, and that's what I remind myself of. And like I said earlier, I don't know if we were actually in the program or just you and all 3 of us here talking about it, but I feel I have a personal relationship with spirit, just like I'm sitting here talking with you guys. I talk with spirit all day long. Just what's going on? What's this about? What happened here? What all day. all day long. Yeah. So that's
And
how it works for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, even
Uh-huh.
my WTF moments
Yes. Yes.
or that plea.
Yes. What is
Yeah,
this about?
what's
What's it about?
happening here, and what
Right.
do I
Yeah.
need to do? How do I need to show up?
Hmm.
So,
You've got
Mara,
great comments coming through.
yeah, we do. Our intention and relationship with spirit is the most important in every action and decision. So
Hmm.
we're always at choice. We're always at choice. The only way, but we are unaware if we walk around blind to what's really going on, if we're not consistently reminding ourselves by staying awake to the presence, to the one presence,
Exactly.
then we miss
Exactly.
our choices. And no choice is a choice. You know, when we don't know we're making a choice, we're still making a choice.
Correct.
Until we know it, until we are aware, oh, this is a choice point,
Yes.
then we probably won't be making the best choices for ourselves. So we have
Right.
to hold that in mind, that I'm at choice.
I'm at
Here's
choice.
a moment of choice, and here is another moment of choice, and this is
Yes.
a moment of choice. And it's by developing that relationship to the one, to spirit, to the presence, to realizing in every moment as much as we can that we are in the presence, not only that we're in it, but we are it. All of those things that we hold to remind ourselves of who we are. When we are able to stay in that awareness, then our
Yes.
choices will reflect what our values are. Our choices
Exactly.
will reflect the relationship we have with a higher power.
Absolutely. And the other thing too that I just, I just as I go through the day and my intentions are to do great, to see God, to be God. That's my intention. When I fall short of those intentions, I forgive myself. I
Yeah.
forgive myself, course correct, and move on. And move on. I'm not going to wallow in that. I'm not going to hang there. I'm going to say, oops, didn't show up as well as I wanted to in that moment. Oops, okay, my bad. Move on.
Yeah. And in
Move
that
on.
moment, you get to decide, do
Yeah,
amends need to be made? Is there something I
exactly.
need to do about this?
Exactly.
And if there
Exactly.
is, do it. And if
Do
there's,
it.
let it go.
Let it, leave it. Leave it. There's many, many things going on in my head that actually don't even come out. Which thank the Lord for that. Thank God.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I have to be held responsible. This is the way I look at it. I don't have to be held responsible for every thought that passes through my brain.
Okay. No.
But the thoughts that I go, oh, sit down, have some tea with me. You want to spend
Okay.
the whole afternoon? Those thoughts are
Yes.
powerful thoughts and not to the good often. So
Right.
I'm responsible for the thoughts that I decide to entertain. I've always liked that phrase,
Correct.
entertain those thoughts. Are you
Yeah.
inviting them in, or are you giving them cookies? You know, are you entertaining them?
Yes. Oh, right.
Or
Oh,
you
that's a
just
good one.
okay, there went that one. That wasn't my best, but let's go on.
Yes. Move
So
on.
that's that. We'll get there in the principles, but that thoughts held in mind, not thoughts that
Yes.
pass through mind, but
Right.
thoughts
Right.
held.
Held in mind.
We always
Correct.
get to choice. We always get to choose. And if we find ourselves, oh man, I've been ruminating over that since
A
breakfast.
while now.
Woo! Let
Let
let it go, Melinda. Let it
it
go.
go. Let
And
it go.
and self-forgiveness is part of that, because
Yes, it is.
if the let it go, you should have let it go, why did you let it go on this long, you're not you all of that stuff, whew, it just exacerbates it. It keeps
It does.
us out of alignment,
It does.
going,
Yeah.
oh well, that wasn't my
Yep.
best.
Yep.
Next.
Yep. Yep. Next time. Yeah. Next time. Get on
You know,
track.
this part of this conversation reminds me, and really, Melinda, when you talked about Easter Sunday and being at the hospital, it reminded me that this one presence is a working, alive energy and is
Yes.
intimately aware of, not because it is us, it is intimately aware of our living and our dreams and our thoughts and our worries and our concerns. And when I
Yes.
first read this, I don't know how many, probably more than 20 years ago, this is from the Conversations with God, book 1. This stopped me in my tracks and took me to my knees, literally, because I was very new to New Thought at the time and was really grasping this one presence thing, and me being an expression of that. It says, I heard the crying of your heart. I have seen the searching of your soul. I know how deeply you have desired the truth. In pain have you called out for it, and in joy. Unendingly have you beseeched me, show myself, explain myself, reveal myself. I am doing so here in terms so plain you cannot misunderstand, in language so simple you cannot be confused, in vocabulary so common you cannot get lost in the verbiage. So go ahead now, ask me anything, anything. I will contrive to bring you the answer. The whole universe will I use to do this. So be on the lookout. This book is far from my only tool. You may ask a question, then put the book down, but watch, listen. The words to the next song you hear, the information next article you read, the storyline of the next movie you watch, the chance utterance of the next person you meet, or the whisper of the next river, the next ocean, the next breeze that caresses your ear. All these devices are mine. All these avenues are open to me. I will speak to you if you will listen.
Beautiful.
Where's that from?
Come to you if you will invite me. I will show you that I have always been there, always.
What is that from? What book is that?
Conversations with God, book 1.
Nice.
And interesting thing is that excerpt's on the back of the book.
Okay.
I never saw it until I read through the whole book, and that stopped me in my tracks. Again, I had that moment when I was literally on my knees weeping, because it's the first time I had resonated with something that I always thought God was, but had never heard or been taught. And that's what I was yearning for at the time. And I never realized it was right on the back of the book the whole time.
You didn't even have to
Amazing.
Until I needed it.
I love it.
And it comes right at that moment that you
It
need.
comes right at that moment. And so on Easter Sunday, not a convenient time, but there was something that knew that the person that could look at the forest see the forest for the trees for you and Bob was going to be there. And so you were.
Yeah.
And so you were. It knew that you were crying for that information all along, and said, I got this moment here. Bob, you got to go down the stairs. Sorry, but this is all for a greater good. A greater good for Melinda and Bob and everybody connected to your lives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop
And
doing
when we can, and I have enough experiences of that, enough examples from my life and from others, that I've been able to step far enough back and go, oh, wow. So I thought that was bad, but actually that may have been the greatest blessing of my life, because it brought me here. I don't know how else I would have gotten here, and here's where I need to be. So yeah, I've learned not to question those. And it's, we own a business as well. And, you own a business, sometimes things are up, sometimes they're down, sometimes they get a little scary. And I've watched Bob over the last 30 years just go, God's going to bring the right person. The right thing is going to come. I mean, he calls it the pop-up people. Someone's going to pop up, and that person is going to be
pop-up people. I love it.
They're going to either pop up and be the answer, or know the answer, or know who to guide us to for the answer, or bring the business, or know, whatever. And we don't get scared anymore, regardless of what happens, because we trust.
Exactly. Well, here's the thing that brings me peace. And I understand, if I believe, and I do, that we are all individualized expressions, then when God says, hey, Pjae, do this, that, the other thing, I just do that, because I know I'm being used for a purpose I have no idea about. But God said, do that, say this, send this. And that's a message to them, to the other people. I don't know what the message is about, not for me. It just said, do that. And that is part of being obedient to those words. So when God is talking with you and so what? And all of that just moves. God said, do that. Just go ahead and do it. You don't need to know why. That we are the hands. We are the physical hands movement of God on this planet. And so that's what we get to do for each other. And I know that. Good. Yeah.
So this is, it could be as small as turn left.
Yes.
I don't know where I am, turn left. This morning I had a doctor's appointment. It was at a hospital, and there were all these buildings, and my GPS was telling me right in the middle of the parking lot was where what I was going was supposed to be. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's not right here.
You have arrived.
I drove around, and I just decided, I tell you what, I'm just going to park here. and I'll find it. And you know what? I parked there. I turned around. I saw
And there was
the big number on the building and went, oh, that's it. And was parking in the correct parking lot for that building, which wasn't anywhere near actually where the GPS said it was, but just small things like that. And you have a choice always to say, well, that was just coincidence, or, oh, I just, it could have easily happened that way anyway. If God is everything, then no, it couldn't have easily happened any other way, because God is the only way.
Exactly. We're going to take a quick 20 minutes or 20 minutes. No, we're quick break and be right back to continue this wonderful discussion. Yeah.
Oh, we had funky music on the commercial.
Look at that. What in the world?
Yeah, I was dancing a little bit in my chair.
I was too.
Check it out.
God is the dance too. There's an old hymn. I don't know how old it is. It wasn't one of the ones from my childhood. It's not, because all the ones from my childhood were about blood and being washed in it. But that I was introduced early on in Unity by someone who came from an Anglican background, called the Lord of the Dance. Do y'all know that hymn?
I don't think so.
Just, where I was brought up, dancing itself was a sin. So
you're called Lord of the Dance? Yeah.
Lord of the Dance. I am the Lord of the Dance, said he. I'll lead you all wherever you may be. I will lead you all in the dance. And to think of life as a dance where there are certain steps, and sometimes you miss them, but that doesn't mean the whole dance isn't good. You don't have to get every step right. And sometimes you get your feet stepped on, sometimes you step on somebody else's feet. But if you allow it to be joyful, then it is joyful.
Exactly.
Just had to say that because I was dancing.
I completely understand.
Dancing in my seat. Yeah.
And when we realize that God created the human body, all that it feels, created sex, then it's all beautiful. It's all sacred.
Yeah.
And again, we can be out of alignment with the goodness of it and the beauty of it. But maybe that's our work, to get back into alignment, to learn something new about ourselves, to hold our bodies and ourselves and our lovemaking, that sex as sacred. When we learn to do that, and it does change the game. But so much of us, especially in Western culture, is about shame around the body and about sex, even as everything is titillating and connected to sex, because they say it sells. We've got this conflict here that we're working in.
Yeah.
We slap each other and shame each other, and then we're actually titillating and looking at it online and using it to sell literally everything.
Everything.
Refrigerators to cars to whatever. Yes.
Yeah. So everything is potentially an instrument of good. We get to decide. And I like to say it's either good or it's for my good. Exactly. So if I can't see the good, I can trust that somehow through this experience, I will grow, I will learn, I will deepen, I will come to some other realization, I will meet some person, something that is for my good is happening because of this, even when it doesn't feel good. And, when it doesn't feel good, it doesn't mean it's not good. It just means it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I agree. I know that the universe is abundant. I know that. Abundant supply. Everything that I need, God, spirit, is source, presence, is source, substance, and supply. So there's nothing around me or in my life that will stop my good from flowing to me. Nothing, including myself.
Yeah.
including myself. Because God, he just, this way that the presence that I speak with, that I'm just in daily contact, and talks to me like I'm talking to you right now. It's like, girl, how many hammers you got to get in the head with before you actually move on? I'm not going to stop. Move on.
Yeah.
Fine. It's fine. All right. Got you. I see.
Mara just put in the comment, she loves that. It's good or it's for my good. And
Yes.
and I think that's a good affirmation for realizing the one presence and how it works in our lives, how it is that working active energy. And yeah, it's all this is good because if all there is God,
Right.
that means all there is good and love. And so it's either for my good, it is good, or it's for my good, because God is everything and everywhere.
Exactly. And when you know that, you can actually just calm down. You can actually just calm
Yeah,
down.
it calms you down.
Calm down.
Calm down.
Calm down.
It's all right. It's going to work out. It'll be all right.
Somebody just said, we said, calm down. Oh, at the concert we had last Thursday night, he said, calm up. He said, calm up.
I love it.
Calm is good.
Calm is good. Bring the calm up. Enhance your calm.
Yeah.
Enhance your calm. Let's
Enhance
calm up.
your calm.
Calm up, people. Calm up. Maybe our response to being told to calm down would change if we just said, calm up.
Enhance your calm. Calm up. All good.
Calm up.
New
I
Year.
remember so much from before as I'm getting involved in this in New Thought years ago. And just that whole way, the New Thought people talk, it's like, stop it. Nobody's that calm. Nobody's that happy. Actually, people are that calm. They are that happy. But I knew to it, I'm like, stop it. Stop it. Now some people tell me, stop it, girl. Come on. You can't really believe it. Yes, I do. No, I don't believe it. I know it. I know. It's go beyond belief to a knowing. So anyway, I could talk about God all day.
So I do a meditation for New Year's during our burning bowl ceremony, where we write down what we're going to get rid of for the year, what things we're ready to release, we feel ready to release, but also do a meditation to bring us to allow one word to float up that maybe is your word for the year. And I was not pleased with my word that floated up for me. And it is the word. It is the word. And it was the word calm.
Is that right?
Which to me meant more than peace. Peace seems like a big sort of thing, but calm is just very present. I can be calm right now. Things around me may be a mess, but I can be calm. I can be the calm center.
Isn't that something?
Man, have I needed that lately?
You have.
I've needed to be the calm.
That is your word.
Yeah.
Huh. I love it. I love how it reveals itself.
But it's working for me. Keeping that uppermost in my mind is helping a lot.
And having a little piece, P-I-E-C-E, of peace, P-E-A-C-E, is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, peace.
A piece of peace.
I love it.
P-O-P. I need a P-O-P. Pop.
That's right. Having a little piece of peace, because, there are moments when, I don't have it all here. But man, if I can just get it in this breath, in this moment, a little piece of peace, I'm good.
I'm good.
And then that does open you up.
It does.
To the larger, which again is God. That's all peace is for me.
Yeah, and when you're in the peace, when you're in the calm, then you hear. You're able to listen. You're able to hear. When we're out of that, in the swirling thing, it's harder to see things clearly or hear directions or guidance clearly. Yeah. It's hard to even hear our own hearts clearly when we're in the spinning. So that calm, or that little piece of peace, not only is valuable in itself, but it also allows us to start to receive what's already there for us, but we haven't been in reception mode.
Correct.
Yeah.
There are times you talked about, Melinda, where you the word that popped up for you was calm, and that you weren't really happy with that at the beginning. And I'll pray about something and get an immediate answer. And you go, I'm sorry, what's that now?
No, not that one. There was another one.
No, is that the? No. You heard me. You know what I'm saying.
You heard me.
Move on. I've already answered it. Move on.
Don't pretend you didn't hear me.
Okay.
And you can make up another word and call
if you want.
white stone, but that doesn't change what your word is.
It doesn't change it.
Act like you know, God. Act like you know you heard me. Send me something different.
Okay.
Send me something different. And he
It's
just
not-
says, bless her heart. Look at her.
Bless her heart. She's not ready, but this is the word. This is what you need to know.
I see
This
that.
is it.
Sometimes I
Yeah.
feel the hands of God going, "Oh, baby,
Baby, come on.
Bless your
Aw.
heart. Bless your heart.
bless
It's
your
still gonna be the, it's gonna be the same no matter how you
Yeah.
push and shove. It's still the same answer, honey. It's the same
Yeah, and
answer.
she says, look, I'm looking at the whole year. You just have this moment right now where you
Okay.
don't like the word calm, but I'm looking at the whole year and the next few years for you. So calm's the word, baby.
comes the
Calm's
word.
the word.
The word.
Calm's the word.
And you can throw a fit before you get there. If you want to, it's up to you.
You can be not calm about the calm word,
Yeah.
but it's up to you.
I didn't really throw a fit. I was just like,
Hmm.
I wanted something. I don't know what I just thought I'd get something sexier.
I know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
calm's
love
not
or-
always sexy, is it? Yeah.
It is the sexiest thing I can think of right now.
I bet.
Oh, maybe I need to sell that T-shirt. Calm is the new sexy.
Calm is the new sexy.
Ooh.
Go.
Ooh.
Arrrr.
All things again.
Hi, I'm calm.
I'm calm.
Arrrr.
I'm very calm.
I'm very calm right now.
Me.
So you have to change your voice. I'm very calm right now.
Yes.
Arrrr.
My puppy said calmness is the living breath of God immortality in us.
Okay.
Ah,
Nice.
I like your puppy.
Yeah.
Nice.
The
Very
living
Wise
nice.
man.
Yeah.
That's right. That is a calm. Take a calming breath. That's a holy thing. Comes. It's a holy breath. I like
Holy
it.
breath.
It's a holy breath.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
So it's 2:52. Let's start winding down because for the three of us to share our closing thoughts takes a little bit. So closing thoughts.
I'm going to go ahead and share mine because I don't think they have I don't have a whole lot. But this is my favorite thing to talk about when it comes to principles of spirituality for new thought. If you don't learn anything else, but you know this one,
Yeah.
this is all there is. And for me, the presence of God in me and in others, recognizing that is every morning when I do my prayers and meditation, I'm thanking God for the knowledge of him, her, it, for the knowledge of presence in my life, for the peace, for the calm. It is my anchor when I want to go off in all kinds of directions. It is my anchor. It is all the information that I need. It's love. It's every single thing that I need or want in the day that is necessary for me to have the greatest day possible. Presence is what it is. And so that's all I want to say about that. It's the thing for me is waking up in the morning and reconfirming my connection with spirit and presence in my life. That's it. Every day. Yeah. Throughout the day.
Yeah, you were ready. See that?
Yeah.
That was beautiful. How about you, Melinda?
You know, years ago, I decided I call God many things: presence, God, Mother Earth, universe. I call it all kinds of things. But the one word that resonates with me, and when the chips are down, I have to know God as love.
Mm.
And I most often pray to love, as love, from love, to love, about love. And when I am there, that when we say the presence is all there is, then to me that means love is all there is. And so all my job, my task is to find my place in the love that is, to find what's mine to contribute to it, to find what's mine to receive from it, to discern how, when I'm not seeing it, that is an effect of my eyes, not an effect of what is actually there. And that brings me calm. It brings me calm.
Mhm.
That idea of when I get confused about God, because man, there's so many opinions. If I
Yes, yes, yes.
ever start to be confused at all, I just skip it and go to the word love. I can read the Bible, and if it says God, I just
Put love.
word love in there. And if it doesn't make any sense with the word love in there, I just go, well, that's a part I don't really need right now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, love. If you're some way that this is helpful for me, bring it to me again. But right now I'm like, love doesn't hate. So that's not real. That's not true.
Mhm. Not true.
Yeah,
Not true at all.
not true. If it's not love, it's not
It's
true.
not true. It's not
And what
real. It's not true.
all my effort and time and angst on things that aren't true. I want to spend
Exactly.
time and my love and my presence on what is true, which
Right.
is love.
What is real? Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Beautiful.
That's me.
Yay. Good job. Well
I
done.
think mine is that that this presence that is God, the omnipresence, is a living, breathing, working energy,
Yes.
and we can live and breathe and work with it and in it and as it in every moment, and live lives that are fulfilling, peaceful, joyful, loving, vibrant, and all good things. And I think the name for God that works for me right now is all good.
Mhm.
All good. The all good. And I often pray to the all good and affirm my life is all good and that I am all good and all 8 billion beings on this planet are all good. And that just takes me to a different place. And that name will last for however long I need it to last. And then maybe another name will pop up. But all good, because that does remind me again that even if I don't judge it as good, it is for my good.
Yes.
And I can look at something and say, yeah, this is good. This is good. So
Has to be.
thank you everybody who chimed in today, who was here, Anita, Mara.
Yeah.
So nice to have your comments. Everybody else who watched, thank you very much. Check us out on realtalksisters.com. And I have a few weeks of stuff to catch up with to put on our website. Things that we read, poems, excerpts, things like that. But this has been beautiful. So we're going to do a different principle every week for the next 4 weeks, because we got 4 more to go for Unity 5 principles. And principle 2 will be next week. And we'll see you then.
Hey.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sisters.
everybody. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you, sisters.
Have a great
Beautiful.
week. See you next Tuesday.
Yes. Mwah. Yes.
Do your sweet way.